Good day. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I welcome you to Module 3, Communication and Context, Experiencing Oral Communication. For this video, I will be discussing about my topic, which is the types of communication. I am so excited to share my ideas about the types of communications with you. So I welcome you and please watch my video presentation so that you can learn something. Enjoy! Every day, we use communication in almost every setting, including in the workplace. As future educator, when developing connection, exchanging ideas, assigning duties, leading a team, and many other things, communication is essential whether we simply nod our head in agreement or deliver information to a sizable audience. Gaining effective communication skills can help us advance our career, increase our productivity as a provider of knowledge, and expand our connection. Communication and interpersonal skills can definitely be improved and strengthened, even though it takes time and effort. We exchange information with one another in a variety of ways. For instance, you might share a presentation with a group of people through verbal communication. When submitting a job application or sending an email, you might employ written communication. According to Killing 2019, there are 4 main types of communication we use on our daily basis: the verbal, nonverbal, written, and visual communication. With all of these communication styles, it's most effective when we know how to actively listen, observe, and empathize. Developing these soft skills can help us to better understand a message and respond thoughtfully. Okay, first, let us discuss the verbal communication. Verbal communication refers to the use of words to convey information orally or visually. It is one of the most common types and is frequently used in meetings, one-on-one chats, video conferences, and phone calls. The importance of verbal communication stems from its effectiveness. Supporting verbal communication with nonverbal and textual communication might be useful. Here are a few steps you can take to develop your verbal communication skills. First, use a strong, confident speaking voice. Especially when presenting information to a few or a group of people, be sure to use a strong voice so that everyone can easily hear you. Be confident when speaking so that your ideas are clear and easy for others to understand. Second, use active listening. The other side of using verbal communication is intently listening and hearing others. Active listening skills are key when conducting a meeting, presentation, or even when participating in a one-on-one conversation. Doing so will help you grow as a communicator. Number 3, avoid filler words. It can be tempting, especially during a presentation, to use filler words such as like, so, or yeah. While it might feel natural after completing a sentence or pausing to collect your thoughts, it can also be distracting for your audience. Try presenting to a trusted friend or colleague who can call attention to the times you use filler words. Try to replace them by taking a breath when you are tempted. Let us proceed to the second type of communication, which is the nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the exchange of information with others through body language, gestures, and facial expressions. It may be applied both consciously and unconsciously. When we hear a good or entertaining concept or fact, for instance, we might unconsciously smile. When attempting to comprehend the thoughts and feelings for others, nonverbal communication can be useful. When people are exhibiting closed body language like crossed arms or slumped shoulders, they may be feeling tense, furious, or anxious. If they may be feeling upbeat and receptive to knowledge, if they are standing with both feet on the ground and their arms on their sides or on the table in open body language. So here are the few steps you can take to develop your nonverbal communication skills. First, notice how emotions feel physically. Throughout the day, as you experience a range of emotion, anything such as energized, bored, happy, or frustrated, try to identify where you feel the emotion within your body. For example, if you are feeling anxious, you might notice that your stomach feels tight. Developing self-awareness around how your emotions affect your body can give you greater mastery over your external presentation. Second, be intentional about your nonverbal communications. Make an effort to display positive body language when you feel alert, open, and positive about your surroundings. You can use body language to support your verbal communication if you feel confused or anxious about information, like using a furrowed brow. Using body language alongside with verbal communication, such as asking follow-up questions or pulling presenter aside to give feedback. Mimic nonverbal communication you find effective. If you find certain facial expressions or body language beneficial to a certain setting, use it as a guide when improving your own nonverbal communication. For example, if you see that when someone nods their head, it communicates approval and positive feedback efficiently. Use it in your own next meeting and when you have something you are feeling inside. Let us discuss the third type of communication, which is the visual communication. Visual communication using images such as pictures, artwork, sketches, charts, and graphs to convey information is known as visual communication. During presentation, visuals are frequently utilized as a support to provide helpful context in addition to written or vocal communication. Because everyone learns differently, some people may benefit from visual communication when it comes to understanding concepts and information. So here are the few steps you can take to develop your visual communication skills. First, ask others before including visuals. If you are considering sharing a visual aid in your presentation or email, consider asking others for feedback. Adding visuals can sometimes make concepts confusing or muddled. Getting a third-party perspective can help you decide whether the visual adds value to the communications. Second, consider your audience. Be sure to include visuals that are easily understood by your audience. For example, if you are displaying a chart with unfamiliar data, be sure to take time and explain what is happening in the visual and how it relates to what you are saying. You should never use sensitive, offensive, and violent or graphic visuals in any form. To make improvements to your communication skills, set personal goals to work through the things that you want to accomplish step by step. It might be helpful to consult with trusted colleagues, managers, or mentors to identify which areas would be best to focus on this matter. Now, for the last but not the least type of communication is the written communication. Writing, typing, or printing symbols like letters and numbers to transmit information is known as written communication. It is beneficial because it offers a record of data for future use. Books, pamphlets, blogs, letters, memoranda, or other written materials are frequently used to disseminate information. In the office, Textual communication often takes the shape of emails and chat. So here are the few steps you can take to develop your written communication skills. First, strive for simplicity. Written communication should be as simple and clear as possible. While it might be helpful to include lots of details in instructional communication, for example, you should look for areas where you can write as clearly as possible for your audience to understand. Second, don't rely on tone. Because you do not have the nuance of verbal and non-verbal communication, be careful when you are trying to communicate a certain tone when writing. For example, attempting to communicate a joke, sarcasm, or excitement might be translated differently depending on the audience. Instead, try to keep your writing as simple and plain as possible and follow up with verbal communications where you can add more personality. Third, take time to review your written communications. Setting time aside to reread your emails, letters, or memos can help you identify mistakes or opportunities to say something differently. For important communications or those that will be sent to a large number of people, it might be helpful to have a trusted colleague review it as well. Fourth, keep a file of writing you find effective or enjoyable. If you receive a certain pamphlet, email, or memo that you find particularly helpful or interesting, save it for reference when you're writing your own communications. Incorporating methods or styles you like can help you improve over time. Also, we will discuss about listening. The act of listening does not often make its way onto the list of types of communication. Active listening, however, is perhaps one of the most important types of communication because if we cannot listen to the person sitting across from us, we cannot effectively engage with them. Think about a negotiation. Part of the process is to assess that the opposition wants and needs. Without listening, it is impossible to assess that, which makes it difficult to achieve a win or outcome. As a future educator, knowing the different types of communication will allow us to better understand our students and can help us to better communicate wisely to our students and to our colleagues as well as to the parents of our students. We should be aware of the different types of communication because when we will become educators, we will be facing diverse students who communicate in a diverse way. And it is very essential for us to learn how to effectively communicate to our lessons to the students so that they can learn holistically and have a holistic environment where their ideas are taken into consideration. So that would be all for today. I hope you have learned something about my video presentation. See you on the next one. Cheers! Stay safe! Bye!